Hello, I'm
Menoth John.
and I'd like to welcome you. First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into your homes. If this is your first time with us, let me extend a personal invitation for you to drag out your
miniatures
and paint along with us each week. Let's go over to the canvas here and let's get started. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it will bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. I believe, every day's a good day when you paint. I believe, it will bring a lot of good thoughts to your heart. Let's build a happy little cloud. Let's build some happy little trees. There are no limits here. You start out by believing here. You can almost paint with anything. All you have to do is practice. There are no limits here.
Oh yeah, brushheads. How's my voice? I'll tell you what, it's another Sunday night here at the Painting with Menoth John Menoth Cave. Check it out, I got a new chair. That's right, folks. Always striving forward to bring you the newest, bestest things you can possibly have in podcasting. I know you appreciate it. It's a new chair here at the Painting with Menoth John show. I'm sure that's going to help our technologies. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know you waited for it for 2 weeks while I was busy trying to throw a lung up through my nose. But here he is, the co-host, the man with the Mr. John Spencer. Say hello to the brushheads, Mr. John Spencer.
Hey, brushheads, how's it going?
Oh, John, I missed you.
I missed you too.
Aw, we got the bromance going on here on Painting with Menoth John, and yeah, I was ill, man. It takes a lot to keep me away from the microphone, and mostly because I adore the sound of my own voice. And so here we are, 2 weeks later.
Yep.
We threatened the brushheads with a painting-centric show. So we thought we would bring on a very special guest, a man who paints as well as plays this game. You may know him from the internet. You may have known him from the mini wargaming site. You may hopefully know him from the Gaming with the Cooler YouTube site. Ladies and gentlemen, say hello to Mr. Owen Schindel, the Cooler.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey. Thank you for being on, Owen. I sure appreciate it. You are... Real quickly, I don't think I've ever asked you, where did the Cooler come from?
Originally, it came from Dave, so Mini Wargamer Dave.
Yep.
It came up because I'm incredibly unlucky when we play. Like, I roll badly pretty consistently, and so he got the Cooler from the term that they used to use in casinos, where the guy would come by and cool dice. Because it got to the point where he felt like whenever I entered the room, his dice rolls went bad. And that's where it came from.
Well, that's fantastic. You know, I appreciate you giving us that backstory because it fits in very well with our speaker here tonight. We have a very special guest here from Discount Games Incorporated who's going to be telling us a little bit about Discount Games Incorporated, the official sponsor of the Painting with Menoth John show.
Hi, you may know me as Rock, and he was just talking about being a cooler, and I'm immune to freezing and stuff like that. And if your dice are cold and you need some new dice, we highly suggest you go to Discount Games Incorporated because they've got those casino dice that we know roll better because they're square and not rectangular or whatever other shape that Chesic. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have used a brand name there. But they have the best Discount Games Incorporated casino dice, which are guaranteed to chip your models and to give you more 5s and 6s. Statistically, 33% more 5s and 6s. So, come to Discount Games Incorporated, because I said so and I'm Rock. And you probably have never seen me before.
So, there you go. Thank you very much, Rock, for that stunning introduction. Sure appreciate Discount Games Incorporated, because they make all of that happen. At least parts of it. Or at least they wish it wouldn't happen, one of the two. And, John, what are you having this evening for a beverage?
Oh, the standard. I got a shot of Kraken and my standard Dr. Pepper with cherry whiskey mix.
Oh, yeah. Are you drinking that out of a Painting with Menoth John official shot glass?
Of course I am.
Oh, you're a good man. You're a good man. You know, those are still available, folks. I only have like about a bajillion of them left. You guys said you wanted them.
Chili came by?
Well, Chili came by and bought 20 of them. You could buy 20 of them. I'd be okay with that. He's going to be passing them out to people from Europe. So people,
That's super sweet.
yeah. So I mean, he's going to save you the shipping charges by giving them to you. So there you go. Owen, what are you having to drink this evening? Painting,
nothing.
painting water. Obviously, not watching the show very frequently. So here we go. To the hopes that Owen will find something to drink before the end of tonight's show, and to a special shout out to PG Hick, Mr. Jake Hickok in Michigan, who suffered a ruptured appendix, the most useless organ in the body, and he broke it. And so we wish him a very, very speedy recovery. He's in the hospital. He's not watching us because he has terrible reception. But I urged him to tune in on the YouTubes afterwards. So here's to PG Hick. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
Mouth John is a puppeteer. Thoughts? I'm only the best puppeteer. Am I the best puppeteer or the best puppeteer? That's what I want to know. Okay. So, Owen, you're moving.
I am, actually. Yeah. Headed out west to Alberta. And it does mean that anyone who does watch the stuff that I do over at Gaming with the Cooler, I posted a video today that goes into it a little bit, but there's basically going to be a bit of a hiatus as I travel across the country.
Okay,
So.
but you are going to be coming back, right?
Oh, definitely.
Cool.
It's just I can't bring all my equipment with me right away, and so there'll be a bit of a delay.
So, Owen, what do you do for a living?
So currently I was working at a bank, but now I'm going to be headed out west, and I'm going to be getting into carpentry. I'm going to be doing cabinet making.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's super. Are you like maybe apprenticing with someone, or is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the plan.
that's super cool.
I'm rather excited.
At some point, I'm going to own a house again, and I'll have to have you make me a cabinet or something. So cool. All right. So appreciate it. Without further ado, for those of you who are not aware, this is a Brushhead Gallery episode of Painting with Menoth John, and folks, you outdid yourselves. Just gonna say that right now. You outdid yourself. This is gonna be a long one, folks. But I super appreciate everyone who went ahead. Okay, so OBS update. When you create a new scene, you have to add both video and audio. So there you go. So there we go. So anyway, so we were looking at we should back up to about the eyes so the brush heads can hear. Now the recording will actually have captured all of that. I think maybe. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing some editing. Probably doing some editing.
That's good enough they can hear it twice.
So anyway, to do eyes, and this is what Owen was saying also, is take and just draw a black stripe across where the eye is going to be, then two vertical white lines, and then use the flesh tone to sculpt out the bottom of the eye and the top of the eye, and it works out really, really super slick. That's the easiest way to do eyes. And that's what I do, and it works out pretty cool. All right, so here we have Eris 1 and 2, and then we'll move on to the next one. And here we have Ayana and Holt, who during the pre-ramble we learned is a 4-point solo with an extra model. I like that
Holt
description.
is the extra model for the record.
Harm is a thing. So is magic weapons. But it's not even called harm anymore. How old am I that it was harm? Was that actually the Mark I term for it?
Yeah, but they still call it that. Everyone still calls it that.
Yeah. All right. Nice job, John. This is looking good. I love the pink hair. Pink hair
Yeah.
is legit. And then you sent me this one here. That is that a Bushido model or what is that thing?
Oh, well, I haven't caught up yet on the stream, but I'm going to guess that that's Killjoy
Yeah, it's Killjoy.
from Malifaux.
Oh, it's Malifaux. Okay, that explains why it makes me want to throw up when I look at it.
I just use their Asian Zen bases, they call them, for my whole Outcast crew.
Nice. Looks good. What's his shtick, by the way, in Malifaux? Because I don't play that game.
He kills shit.
I bet he does. He's got a big cleaver, doesn't he? Does he have drag or anything on that hook?
He does. He can drag with the hook, and he's got the big cleaver for choppiness. He could even start out of play and then come into play when someone dies, right where that guy was, and just, surprise killings.
I guess if you're going to have, it's better than surprise other things. So there you go. We're going to try and keep this one PG rated, I guess. So appreciate you sending those in, John. Those are super sweet. Now go ahead. So we had a submission also from Miles Healy, who sent us a beautiful Dozer and Smig. And my Dozer and Smig is blue with green fingernails, and his is green with brown fingernails, but blue in a lot of other places. So looking really nice there. Super good. I love me some Dozer and Smig. And then we had Mike Bond, who decided to not troll us by sending us really good paintings. It turns out not only is he good at sending flippity bloops, but he's also a pretty damn legit painter on top of it. Little known fact about
I've seen some stuff in person. He's good.
Yeah, little known fact about Mike Bond. He works for Voice of America, so he's an actual broadcaster, or actually he does like research for him, which is close to being a broadcaster. So as close as we are, that's for damn sure. So here we go. I love the highlights on this one. The purples are amazing. And then we have Mac Daddy Reinhold. Love this Reinhold. It's got leopard fur on the on his cloak and on his hat. And instead of holding that spyglass, Mike, you missed the boat. It should have been like a big jewel-encrusted goblet. It could have been. You could have totally gone with the gone the hip hopper out on that one. Could have been Crunk, the Crunk version.
He's still pretty cool. Pretty cool.
He's amazing. It's a beautiful paint job. And then the square, which is a big piece of shit. We don't want to talk about that. All right, so then we have Cody Anderson. Screw the square. Cody Anderson sent us a few pictures, John. And here we see Darkwing Duck, a.k.a. the Gorman DeWolf. I really like on this one that it's got the purple cloak with the more fuchsia inner cloak, so that you get a little bit of contrast there. I really like how that one turned out. How's the stream doing? Am I getting ahead of the stream?
I'll say simply yes.
Okay. Well, I'll try to slow down here a little bit, and we'll discuss something that I don't often see about a Gorman DeWolf model, which I wanted to point out in this one, is that what's interesting is that his head is white.
Huh.
That takes some fiddling to get that thing white, because that is a small freaking area to get into. He did a really nice job with that one. Wow, I am really ahead of the stream on this one.
It does, yeah. The stream's kind of hit or miss. Some guys are having good luck, other guys are having bad luck.
I don't know what to do.
Keep going forward. And...
I don't know what to do with Twitch, to be honest with you. I mean, I guess we could do this on YouTube, but I hope someday that they don't suck. And I can only imagine that the consternation and headaches that poor Trevor and Scott are going to have trying to broadcast the WTC from Polish Twitch, which isn't a commentary on Poland at all. It's just it's like ratcheting up the difficulty, I would imagine, to 9.
I am not a fan of Twitch. Never been a fan of Twitch.
I've never been
used Twitch.
No, no, I've never been a fan of Twitch. Unfortunately, it beats the living piss out of Ustream.
Yeah, yes.
Which is sort of like being king shit of the dung heap.
On the grounds that the only thing I'm able to stream on is YouTube, I have to accept it. As Twitch won't let me do it anymore.
Really? Do they hate Canadians?
No, I got banned for a copyright claim.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Which was really surprising, as I've never put any content on there. So I'm like, how did I get banned? And I contacted them, and they said, oh, it's just an issue with our servers. Make a new account. I'm like, well, no, this is the name of my channel, and you won't let me use it again. Oh, well, we'll have to look into that, and it never got fixed.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Twitch. That's just great.
Yeah, that's BS.
Here's another one from Cody Anderson. Here we see Krios 1. a barely playable caster in Protectorate.
Yep.
He's not very good, but it's a very good paint job.
That's right.
It's a very good paint job. I little known fact, I have gotten Krios 1 dead every time I put him on the table. There's a reason he was very dusty. And now this one's from Cody Anderson too. This is, God, this stream can die in a fire. By the way, just letting you know. I want you. Cody's a relatively new painter, and when this Judicator finally gets up, wait till you see it. This is some of the best white painting I've seen this side of, like, Charlie Foster from Privateer Press. I'm hoping it gets there pretty soon. I think I stayed on Darkwing Duck for literally about 15 minutes, the way things are looking here. But when you get to this, you'll see.
Holy white.
Yeah. Man, is that beautiful. Holy cats. And that takes some gumption, folks, to paint that kind of amount of white. And he did a beautiful job on it. White and red on the same model. He's a masochist. And then after we get past that, we've got a few submissions from good friend of the show, Mr. Dave Monroe. A fantastic brush head. And we've got some Horgel Iron Strike to look at, which I think is absolutely amazing. I love this model. And he has, start off with a very close-up picture of his face. And you'll see all that fantasticness. I'm thinking about indexing the actual slides like ahead of where I'm going to talk about it, so that like they sync up or something like that. Who knows how that's going to work out?
Well, it's hard to tell because some people are having really good connections, other people not so much.
And then also Dave, along with his Horgel Iron Strike, which I think is just a fan. I love the goggles on that model. And then he did a Pyre Troll, and it's a new school Pyre Troll, and I think it's maybe my most favorite new school Pyre Troll I've ever seen. I'm kind of more of a fan of the Spitting Frog or whatever it was, the old ones, the metal ones, but the plastic ones I just don't like how the flames turned out. But he did a dark gray skin with the flames, and it really contrasts nicely, and I'm a fan.
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Yep. Then we have a brand new painter, Tracy Carter, and she's painting some Protectorate. And you know what? She says she's only been painting miniatures since June, John. And I'm going to tell you what, this is some legitimate Protectorate going on right here for only having painted for a couple of months. I look back at the models that I painted when I first started, and I'm not a fan. But these are fantastic. Tracy, you're doing a great job. Really like how you're doing. And then, yeah, I know, right? Total masochist. And then Tracy is doing some, after only painting for 2 months, she's doing commission work, and she's doing some cricks. So here we see some stitch thralls with a with some stuff there in the back, some pistol race and what looks to be Morton Ebra, and then a Slayer, a purple Slayer. Who don't like a purple Slayer? That's what I gotta ask. And then
I love purple Slayer.
And then we got a piece here, folks, that's gonna knock your socks off, from Ben Whitaker, and it is a Steel Soul Keg Protector. That model is strictly better than the original, and he does such an amazing job. These, the thing about Convergence is that with the metals, if you're good at painting metals, you can make these models just sing. And he does a great job. And turns out he might be a decent photographer on top of it, because he gets the lighting just right on this model. John, let me know when you can actually see the Steel Soul Keg Protector.
I can see it.
Okay.
My stream is exceptionally crappy.
Okay, so
I can see it.
Okay, if either of you can see the model that I'm talking about, you can pipe it up and say, "I see it." So
I can see it.
Okay, so now we're on to Caleb Roberts, and Caleb is doing some Infinity here. I think it's Infinity. Pretty sure it's Infinity. It's got that Infinity look to it, and by Infinity look, it looks like a robot, maybe. I don't know anything about Infinity, by the way. Have I mentioned that? I'm not. It's not. It's a great paint job. I just don't know a effing thing about how the models are supposed to look. And Caleb, but I mean, I love the yellows, and yellow is a color that is a straight up pain in the wee to paint, and he does a really nice job. Also, the bases that he chose to use on this are beautiful. He pulls off a sort of weathered cast iron really nicely. Gets the highlights on it
the
just
blue wire,
perfect.
The blue wire is interesting.
Yep. Dude, John, John, you know this game.
It's drawing my eyes right there.
Yeah, you know this. You know this game better than I do. Is this like an Aleph model or something like that?
It's a Nomad.
It's a Nomad. See, I don't know a damn thing about this game.
Yes.
The Krug must hate me. So
I think they understand that you don't know. It's okay. I don't know which model of Nomad it is. I just look at it and see, like, I need to shoot that.
I'm like the
Probably
kid.
an intruder or something.
I'm like the kid in the back with the headgear. You know, I don't know anything about what's going on.
I know it's not a military order, which is the faction I play. So all I got.
Man, I wish I talked to Zach, who's on Brunch Machine with me. It's like, do you have any interest at all in Infinity? And it's like, nope, not really. It's like, crap. There went my one chance of actually playing that game. So, hooray.
It's a tough one to stream, too, because, I mean, it's such a swingy game. After watching all of Mini War Games battle reports, I'm just happy when they have one that's close. So many times it's like one side just gets crushed.
Well,
which is very Infinity.
Yeah, the way the dice work kind of confuses and scares me. I probably will get the I'll probably get the was it second edition now that's coming out?
Third technically, yeah.
Third edition. So I'll probably get the third edition rulebook and read it, and then that's a minimal investment, and just kind of get a feel for what the game's about. Maybe I can find somebody, and then I know that Operation Ice Storm or whatever the new kind of pack is supposed to be the business and a half. So, getting back to the Brushhead Gallery, we got Chris Taylor here. Lots of Protectorate people. I'm happy to see all these Brushheads dropping in the Protectorate. We need more Protectorate players because I'm out. That's for sure. And we need somebody to take my place. So here we see some racks, and in the proper color. They are blue, which means they're Signarin, which means they're getting put up on the racks. That's good. And then we got some errants, which are enough to cause grief counseling most times when you start painting those. I sent mine to a Sri Lankan sweatshop to get done. And that's the only reason I'm still sane, or at least reasonably sane. But Chris Taylor did a beautiful job on these. White, it's hard. Just to prove that we are an equal opportunity podcast, we have Declan Lowry here with a Space Marine. They're trying really hard to break that game and make people quit, but we'll put a picture up. Although I have to admit, as random and goofy as those strategic objective card things appear to be, they seem to be fun.
It's a good game. It's good beer and pretzels. I mean, everyone locally has been raving about it. Says they enjoy the heck out of it. They're having fun. That's what's really important.
It seems like they've breathed a good dose of fun. It may be broken as crap, but it looks fun. Oh, and you play a lot more 40K than I do, and probably
not anymore.
No, you're out, huh?
No, I've been out for quite a while now. I played right when 6th edition had come out, and then for a little while, basically right up till when Tau got their new codex. And then I went, okay, this game's dumb now. I'm not playing anymore. Because I play Tau, and so it was one of those, the entire game changed for me, where I went from having to actually think and plan and try, to you don't get to win, because you didn't play Tau today.
Wow.
Yeah. Codex creep is a thing, and there's a reason it's called Codex creep.
Yeah. Well, all right, well, screw there. I'm out. I was never in, but I'm out now. Declan continues here with another faction I have no interest in playing, and that is Convergence of Cirrus. good to see. I'm not going to make the requisite COC joke. I think I'm past that. I think I've grown as a person. Which, I mean...
It's good to see a slightly different paint scheme than everyone else. It's not just straight metal. Not that steel slow kick protector wasn't awesome, but I like seeing something different here and there.
Yeah, I really like this, too. I mean, I like how he posed it as well, and, you know, the kind of jumping off the rock kind of a thing and stuff like that, in the grays and red. It almost looks like if Iron Man sprouted wings a little bit. I like that.
Yeah.
A friend of mine's Convergence Army is all Iron Man.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if PP would have a Harry over that. I hope not. That's their conversion rules need to go anyway.
Well, that's probably not covered for just an Iron Man paint scheme. If you made them all look like Iron Man, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Declan continues on here with Syntherian, or as I like to call him, the Swiss Army knife of convergence. I like I love the base. He had a spring laying around, and he had a little gear hanging out there. I don't even know what that gear's awesome. And then a little screw. He may have gotten some extras in an IKEA box or something like that. It's pretty amazing.
I like that. That base looks like he custom made it, and that makes it super cool.
Absolutely. It's like cork met extra bits from IKEA. I like that. And then here we... Oh, that was from last time. How'd that get in here? And then we have, of course, from... now, is it pronounced Taudark or is it Dowdark? I think it's
Dowdark.
I think it's Dowdark. And we see a fully painted Mountain King. Yeah. And as you can see, dude has spent some time building some... He's got Groot in his right hand. And we did some custom runes on around his head. That is a beautiful, beautiful Mountain King. Dowdark of the Advanced Maneuvers fame of the YouTubes. And if you're interested in well-produced, excellent bat reports, I can't recommend his channel enough. I dirtled around on one of them and got accused of being a negative person and that someone would not want to play a game against, which I thought was terrible.
Oh, God, yeah, I heard that. I was like, oh, go away, guys.
Aw, come on. I'm not that bad.
No,
I am.
They didn't understand that you were pure.
And that, of
I
course...
have an ongoing reputation of that.
Oh, I enjoyed our game together, buddy. I sure did.
It was fun.
Yeah, you stomped the piss out of me, but I had a great time. So
that's just a sign of how fun it was.
Exactly. So I want to thank each and every one who sent in submissions. This was the best brush head gallery we've done so far, and that's not to take away from the other brush head galleries we've had. Keep them coming in, folks. I sure do appreciate them, and we'll be doing this once a month. As you know, we took a 2-month hiatus mostly because we're not really a real show, and so we don't really follow.
We're not that organized.
We don't really follow a schedule, and you know, this is a show where I reach for a ginormous bottle of rum 3 times per show. I mean, you get what you get, okay? Not paying a lot for all this entertainment, just breaking it loose on you here. So, but hey, look at us on schedule here. We're at 7:30. I didn't think we'd get through the Brushhead Gallery quite that quickly, but we are. Believe it or not, John, we're on schedule for time.
We are. It's amazing.
So this is so for those of you who might be new to the show, and I can't imagine who that might be. By the way, we are. How many people we got watching us right now? Like almost 30, huh? That's pretty cool.
28, yeah. I think we topped in around 30.
Yeah, well, the 20.
Poor Gamer Girl popped in for a little bit at least.
Miranda's like one of my new favorite people in the world. She was so nice to talk to. Codex Dan's kind of an asshole, but Miranda's super sweet. No, that's not true. That's not true. Codex Dan's amazing.
That's entirely true. As a person who knows him personally,
he was very kind to
it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we had a great time, and I loved how people complained about how animated I was with my hands. So
we're used to painting something. Now you're talking with no painting. What the hell?
Exactly. So for those of you who think that I'm animated with my hands, here's a shot to you. Hey, Ron.
Ron.
God, eventually I got to put this camera over onto onto the whole, you know, this is a painting show cam. Remember when we talked about how this was going to be a painting show this time? So let me let me go ahead and here we go.
We should probably, before we get into flippity bloops, we should pump Drew Heller's Feet for the Soldiers.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that, John.
I have no idea. He just wanted me to remind you.
Okay, bring it up. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. God, yeah, Feet for the Soldiers. It's a thing. I'm going to. It's. Damn it. Here we go, showing how organized I am. He even sent me a message about it. Vamp a little while I bring it up.
Oh, vamp a little. Oh, make it hard, huh? So what are you painting right now, Owen?
Painting Epic Striker. I'm gonna see if I can try and get him finished painted by, because I started him when I first got on this call, and I'm almost done. So I'm gonna see if I can get him done in the next 20 minutes.
That's called speed painting, folks.
It's called making it look good enough to sit on the table.
Only one person has to like your model. That's you. So I like to tell everyone.
And the people who will stop me from playing if it's not fully painted.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
okay, here we go. Here we go. Miles, I'm sorry, I suck. Okay, so here we go. Feet for the Soldiers. They are having a deal where they are donating money and it's going towards the Wounded Warrior Project. And they're having a fundraiser and tournament in November. And he wanted to make sure I let my folks, my viewers know about it. And there is a Facebook page for it. And I will put that link to the Facebook page on the Painting with Menoth John Facebook page. So that's very meta, I'd have to say. So if you want, I would highly recommend everyone hearing my voice right now, get to the Painting with Menoth John Facebook page. If you're driving a car and you're hearing this, pull over, find a good hotspot, and get over there. And if you have a good mobile plan with good data, go ahead and bring up that phone and just drive as unsafely as you possibly can. For Feet for the Soldiers, it's called. So you'll find a link there. It is super awesome, and we love Miles. He's a great brush head, and I wanted to make sure that you've all got a chance to take a look at that because he got 10,000 golden Menoth John loyalty points for that, and so as soon as I get the redemption form from page 324 of the Painting with Menoth John fan club site information, I will pass on his reward. So I hope he gets that in the required number of duplicates, but that's only available on page 324. So, all right, so there you go. So that's the thing for the soldiers, the Wounded Warriors. We love them. They're on the Painting with Menoth John Facebook site. So get there, like the page, and then follow the link.
There you go.
Wow, that was awkward and painful.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It's my fault. He asked me to do it like twice, and I suck. So there you go. So flippity bloop. That's a good segue.
All right, some painting questions. Let's start with one that's mostly for you.
Okay.
It's from Simp7. He says, "How do you get that blue on the Mauler and Dozer and Smig?"
Oh, as a matter of fact, look what I've got right here in front of me. I have rock. So I'm going to demonstrate it right now. And that was totally unplanned, by the way. Good job. That's why you're the best co-host in the business, by the way. Just letting you know. I'm going to try and bring this thing.
I try.
Oh, you're the best. As soon as this silly app opens up that lets me zoom things in on this camera, I will go ahead and I will bring it in. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to come in here to that camera, and then we're going to bring in the better focus close. Okay, here we go. So the way I do it is I start off with a Citadel, start off with white. Okay, and I hate white, but this one's white. And the first thing that gets is the Guilliman Blue Glaze. Guilliman Blue Glaze from Citadel. That was formerly known as Azurmen Blue, which is also a Citadel wash, but because Citadel is owned by Games Workshop, they try to make things as difficult as possible, as frequently as possible. So they released this would be a 7th edition paint, this would be a 5th edition or 6th edition paint, and by the looks of the bottle, I'd say it's a 5th edition paint. And so the Gilliman Blue wash over the white works beautiful, and then you follow it up with another. This is a 7th edition wash. This is the DEUCE Violet. And that worked. You just put that right over the top of the blue. Now I'm going to demonstrate that because this is a very official podcast we're having here tonight. And I'm going to use a Games and Gears Masters Hybrid brush. I guess it's got batteries in it. It's not fully gas powered. So anything I can guess is why it's hybrid. So we're going to take that right here. We're going to use a little bit of water here. This is Wisconsin water now. This water has all the minerals and toxins that are available from the Lake Michigan area. We're just upstream from Chicago, so anything could happen. And we just liberally apply the purple to the blue, and it just sort of happens. There wasn't a lot of talent involved in this. It was a wash that I discovered almost by accident because I got this troll army that was all blue, and I went ahead and tried some purple because I like purple, and it worked out really well. So there you go, flippy blue.
All right, next one. Here's a good one. Holy crap!
I turned off my microphone for that.
Leather.
I turned off my mic for that cough, folks. I'm not completely well yet, and talking as much as I'm talking is going to cause me to cough a little bit. So how do I do leather? So I'll give
anything for painting leather. Yeah.
So I'll do my recommendations for leather, and then John, if you've got a few, or Owen, if you've got a few, you can sort of sign.
With Owen, I don't have good tips for leather.
Okay.
I don't have good tips for painting, so.
Okay. Well, I'll give my tips for leather, and my leather's like mediocre at best. So good luck with all this. So what I start off with is bootstrap leather from Privateer, because I figured, hey, it's got leather in the name. It's a good start. And by the way, the guy who was asking about the purple, as you can see, it's starting to get that variegated blue purple that I had on the Mauler and on Mulg and stuff like that. It's because washes do an awesome job of not actually painting. They just kind of like fall over it and stuff. Anyway, so on to leather. I start off with that, and then I let it dry. And then what I do is I have this product from Citadel called Agrax Earthshade. This is a 6th edition wash. Might be updated to 7th edition, you never know. And it is essentially what used to be called Devlin Mud. Now, anytime you say Devlin Mud, most painters will kind of go, ah, Devlin Mud. I remember Devlin Mud. Because it used to be referred to as talent in a damn bottle. And that's exactly what it is. It is a brownish sort of wash. I believe at one time it was known as chestnut wash. It may have been known as that. I don't know. I can't remember. But it's a brown wash that you apply liberally, and literally the more you put on, the better your model looks. So you put that on the leather, and you just liberally apply it. Or if you're a conservative, you're politically a conservative person, you could conservatively apply it, but conservatively apply it many, many times. So and that just gives you a lot of highlights and lowlights, and then you just can kind of come back with the bootstrap leather and pick up the high points of where that leather is going to be, and just give it a little bit of love there with the original bootstrap leather. Also, the other thing I would recommend is you go ahead and Google the P3 painting chart and use those highlights and lowlight recommendations they have, because they are absolutely legit. So there you go. There's all the tips I've got for leather. God bless you and good luck.
You got anything to add, Owen?
Nope, nothing at all. I don't know how to paint.
But Striker's done in 15 minutes.
Yep, that's an even better example of why I don't know how to paint. I mean, of anything.
All right, let's pop to a good trolley one from our boy Tin Man XL.
Oh, I love that guy.
What's the longest you procrastinated on painting a model before finally getting it finished?
Okay, it's getting close here with Imperatus, to be honest. Imperatus has been sitting on this table for about 2 months. Earthbreaker sat on this table for, I would like to say, 3-4 months after I'd started painting it to the time that it actually finished. And mostly that was because I was chicken. I was really, really scared of screwing it up because a $135 model is intimidating. And, but I would say that probably Earthbreaker at the 3 or 4 month level is the longest I've actually gone where a model has been started but not finished. What about you, John?
Well, if you count all models ever, I've got a squad of Ultramarines that have been 80%, 70% done for about a decade.
Okay, I take that back. I've got a set of models I was painting for their Space Marines that a buddy of mine wanted to use for Space Hulk when 3rd edition Space Hulk just came out. And they were the metal Terminators, and I still got them, and they're not done. So the clock is still ticking on those bad boys, and it's been years. So.
But for games I still play, it's probably about a year, but that's because I'll do like a full base coat on something with no washes, and then play with it a bunch, then come back in a big sitting and do a whole bunch of detailing and washing on a bunch of models at once. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think it was 9 months to a year on some of my mercs.
So in other words, you could conceive and birth a baby in the amount of time that it took to get that done.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so there you go. So there's purple. I mean, that's all there is to it. Purple. Bam. Suck it. Put it on.
How about you, Owen? You got any models that you procrastinated on, or do you paint them all in like 12 minutes flat?
Yeah, pretty much. Usually what I'll do is they'll just sit there totally built but unpainted at all. And then one day I will just sit down, prime them all, paint them all, done. And that'll be it.
Boom.
I think I need to get you and Dave Taylor in the same room so you can have all the speed painting ability in one spot. I don't know if you know Dave Taylor. He's a ex-GW guy, but he like paints armies in a weekend like a hobby.
Well, about a week ago, we did a painting for the new Nagash models that came out in Warhammer Fantasy. And we painted 10,000 points of undead in 24 hours. From opening the box to being on the table based.
Christ.
There was at most 13 people there, and at the minimum, when I was one of the only people there out of the 3 of us that were painting. We did it in 24 hours.
Well, that beats the crap out of that.
Amazing.
That beats the crap out of that Gator army, that 50-point Gator army I did in 6 hours.
There's a lot of guys. Graveguard are the worst model ever.
What? I don't know. I'm not familiar with the model. What makes them ridiculous?
They're little skeletons, first off, with a little bit of armor. And what makes them obnoxious is they have 2-handed weapons. And the model is made so he's got his torso and the head, and then it's left arm with the hand on there for the other arm, and it's a 2-hander. And the other one is literally just a little stick of bone that connects the other arm to it.
It's like the damn
And it wouldn't be so bad, but when you play fantasy, you need like 50 of these guys.
And they have to rank up.
And they have to be able to all stand together.
Oh my god, it's like the damn steelhead halberdiers, but worse.
I got sick of it about 20 guys in, and I just started shaving the hands off of the other hand of the halberd, and having like a broken arm sitting next to it. I mean, like they blend together when they're in a big crowd, so it was fine.
You only the front rank look good anyways.
Nobody looks that close at them.
Exactly.
That's great. Flippity bloop.
All right, next one's a simple one. Christopher Taylor asks, how do you paint the front arc lines on your bases? He says, mine are skew, uneven, and don't line up and look like crap.
All right, let me show you. Because the key is literally right in front of you right now, folks. This is this painting thing that I use that I got from, like, Michael's or whatever I got it from. So you'll notice it's got, like, a grid mark on it, okay? So what I do is I put dude in the center. And then I even him up so that at this scale, it's very easy to tell where when you're even on the right, left, whatever hand I'm using, left, even on the right, even in front, and even in back. It's super easy to tell. So what I do is I take my paint that I'm going to base, I go clink on that line, blink on that line, and then I come over here and go blink on that line, and then I lift them up, follow it, boom, boom, boom. I have 3 hash marks. I'm ready to go. So I've got his front arc for his charge, and then I've got the 2 side arcs, and I just use a little bit of a line on it. And then I come back, and I usually paint my base rings black, and then I come back with that base black color, and I just kind of just draw a little line on either side of the paint that I use to draw the hash mark, so that it is nice and even and looks awesome. That's all there is to it, folks. Fat Asian's gonna kick my ass for this one. You don't need to buy the fancy little marker things, guys. This thing costs like $10 at Michael's. Get one. It's gonna save whatever table you're painting on. It's super cool for cutting on with a hobby knife and stuff like that. Plus, it soaks up the paint real nice. You can kind of wipe it off and crap like that. And then boom, you've got all the hash marks you need for all your arc markers and things like that. And for God's sakes, mark your arc markers. It's not that hard, and it's not that long. Get it done. Then you don't have to have fights at games where you're like, no, man, you don't get a free strike. Bullshit, I don't get a free strike. Here, take a suck of my laser. Bam. Line it up, and here you go. Oh, your model died? I'm sorry for that. Maybe you should not suck so hard next time. Any other?
Also,
yeah.
I put it in the chat. There's a document right there that has all of the arcs for every size base, and you can just print it off and paint them on.
Boom.
I will share that on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now that I finally made you an admin on the damn Facebook page, John, jeez, how long did that take?
No big deal there.
I didn't even realize you weren't one, so there you go. Okay, so now I've got an interesting design decision to make on Rock here. Do I make his fur and spines green like the rest of my army? Or do I go with the I'm a frozen dude kind of a thing like I've got here with the white already? Kind of thinking he might be easier to distinguish from a mauler if I don't paint him green. Probably
yeah,
just...
go with the icy sort of thing.
Yeah, just go with the icy thing. I'm going to repaint his shorts here, though. They're red, and I slopped all kinds of purple all over them just now, so I'll probably repaint these. I'm going to repaint them sanguine because it's clearly my favorite color ever to paint. So, all right, flippity-bloop.
All right, the next one I think is one, it's sort of based off what Owen was talking about earlier. It's from my boy in the UK who was just here last weekend to play, Frank Thompson, and he's talking about painted armies. And he says, I feel like moving towards them is an important part of the social contract between gamers, and what do we think?
I think that fielding a painted army is super fun and super nice and all that kind of stuff. Social contract seems a little extreme. I don't subscribe necessarily to you suck because your stuff is not painted and you're offending me because your stuff is not painted. That's kind of not where I'm at. I want people to have fun as much as possible. I want all the fun all the time as maximum as possible. So if you're not a great painter or you're slow to paint, but I don't think that should hinder your ability to enjoy a game. But it'd be nice to, painting is fun. You should try it and keep on working on it. So, I mean, this is a painting show, allegedly. Kind of it's a drinking show with a painting problem, to be honest. But you shouldn't feel terrible about it. So what do you think, John?
I'm not a huge painter, so I'm all about people playing with stuff without it being painted. I mean, I like the look of a painted army. I try to get all my armies painted, but I'm not opposed to putting unpainted models on the table as much as I need to be.
What do you think, Owen?
I'm indifferent. I dislike events that make painting mandatory. I understand that it makes it look better when you take the pictures and want to show off your event. Fine,
yeah.
Whatever. But there's a lot of reasons why people can't paint, whatever they may be. Some of them are a lot just lazy, but to try and say that you have to have things painted is silly. I mean, if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Just play the game. But if you want to paint, then go for it. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
Back in the glory days of Games Workshop, they called it your hobby versus the hobby. Don't impose your hobby on someone else. If they just want to play and not paint, hey, that's what they want to do.
Wow, what happened to that attitude? Where'd that go?
In every one of these games.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Owen.
And Frank has a follow-up. He says, do you think that the Warmachine community gets a bad rap for not painting models compared to some other game communities?
I think that was a thing back in Mark 1 days. I think that the game has matured over the years, and there's a lot more fully painted armies than there ever was before. And yeah, they're beautiful and stuff like that. But Owen, I think you touched on an absolutely interesting point, which is that you're starting to see Privateer now starting to head towards the conceit of the fully painted army, where Iron Gauntlet, you've got to have a fully painted army and all this kind of stuff, mostly for the exact reason that you mentioned, which is you're taking pictures of the event, you want to have it look good and all that kind of stuff, rather than necessarily maximizing the fun of the people who are taking part in it. So
that's the whole reason I'm still paying my guys, is I'm all ready for those 75-point Iron Gauntlet games.
Well, I don't have a problem with them making...
So excited for that.
I detect a certain amount of sarcasm, which I am completely
it's not
bought
sarcasm.
into.
I am excited. I am truly excited for it. A lot of people were like, they were crapping on it when they're like, oh, it's 75 points and they just want people to buy more models and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, this is amazing. It totally changes the way the game functions.
Yeah. Bowie and I played a bit of a 75-point game yesterday. It was a good time.
I will take a dissenting opinion on this, but it's only because I don't disrespect your enjoyment of that particular format at all. 100%. If that is what you enjoy, then I am down with that. It is not the game I want to play, just because I don't know. For me, it just takes more time than I'm willing to invest in a single game. And if that's lazy, then I guess I'm lazy. I don't know.
Just gotta play
what you want.
What's that, pal?
You just play the events you want to play.
What did you say about Death Clock, Owen?
So just play on a Death Clock.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll learn how to play 75 points in an hour. That's just what you'll end up having to do.
I personally, if I'm not playing on a timer, I'd prefer not to play this game, to be honest with you.
I'm starting to get to the point where I feel like every game should be at least somewhat timed.
Agreed.
I have never been clocked out. Like, I watch people get clocked out, and it always surprises me, because I bring lists that are very hard to do, like, timetable, or at least that's what everyone says. They're like, they threaten me that list won't work. It takes too long to move, and you'll clock yourself out. And you go, yeah, but I don't, because that's it. You don't. It's an hour. You have an hour to play the game.
Yeah. I think that if I had more time to play the game, I would probably, maybe I would be better at the time management portion of it. In the fact that I switched to a new faction here within the last few months, and then my work-life balance just went completely in the crapper here with the amount of time I'm spending traveling. Although, I rolled up on Omnis's crib in Seattle. Here the last time I was in Seattle. It's got a pretty nice little joint there. Might need to have a sweet suck of the old Menoth John action here pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna sneak up on the hobby shop in Grand Prairie, in the middle of nowhere, where I'm gonna be living.
Well, they're gonna.
They apparently have a Warmachine community, so
they're gonna love taking a because you're a legit player. They're gonna love you rolling up into town. I've been a part of.
They will. I mean, it'll make them all better.
I've been a part of isolated metas before, and I'll tell you what. Sometimes they don't have all the tools in their kit.
Well, the problem is that you don't end up playing against all the factions and different, like, you may play the different styles, but you don't play against people who think differently.
Yeah, wait till they see some of your list builds. Holy crap.
Alright, well, Striker's done.
You suck. I hate
I'm just
you.
about at that time, so.
All right, well, I know that you couldn't spend a whole lot of time. You could only spend an hour with us, Owen, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Please keep me in. Like you're not going to keep me in the loop on your adventures and where you are and stuff like that. But we'd love to have you back on the show when you kind of get settled back in, and things are working for you and all that kind of stuff, and kind of hear how things are going for you.
Yep, I'll certainly be keeping in touch. I think I'm going to post a little picture of this on your page.
Yeah, I'd love that.
That's what I achieved during the show.
During the drunk fest that is uniquely painting with Menoth John.
Yep.
There's no good way to take pictures of these minis.
No, they're really all. I mean, there's a light box, and then you can buy a shitty light box like I have, and then have it turn out like really crappy, and then do the best you can with it. So.
Yeah, that'd be one way of going about it. But yeah, no, it was good. Glad I was on again, and I'm sure we'll be talking again. So.
Absolutely, Owen. Love you, man. Good luck with
Chat
the
with you.
good luck with the move. And if there's anything we can do for you, the Brushheads can do for you, you know we're there for you.
Awesome. Well, I'll see you guys next time.
Take care, my friend.
Yeah.
Well, once again, folks, that was Owen Schindel, the Cooler, from Gaming with the Cooler. Check him out on YouTube's. If you go to the YouTubes and search for Gaming with the Cooler, I highly recommend it. He puts out some really, really unique stuff. We didn't have a chance. We fell a little bit out of our sequence here as far as our agenda. But one of the things we were going to talk a little bit about, John, that we didn't get a chance to was lists we like with him on here. And I need to share a bit of tech. I'm going to share a 35-point list this week, John.
Actually, not to disrupt our schedule, but one of our boys in the chat room, Wonky Kong, would like me to share a list I like.
Oh, well, far be it from
He's
me.
apparently, yeah.
That's because he's a
doing some McBain, and
it's because he's a damn dirty Merc player. Of course he loves you.
yeah, he asked for some McBain at 50 points, and that was one of the last two casters I was working on before I swapped to the Retribution.
All right, well, go ahead then, buddy.
So, all right. Well, I've only played this a couple times because that was during the Connie Bay's challenge. More on that later, so to speak. But he was my pair, and it's McBain with a Galleon. Then the only units in there are Boomhowler and Company at max, and Ian and Holt, which technically I guess is only a 4-point solo with an extra add-on for free.
We learned that tonight.
Oh no, I lied. Apparently there's 2 more units. There's Chaos Eliminators, two of those, but that's not really a unit, so to speak. And then going into the solos, I've got Gaston with a Vanguard, because, hey, why not? Then I've got a good variety of the rest of the solos. This is in 4-star, so I don't have all of them available, but I've got Gorman, Master Gunner Dougal for use with the Galleon, Ragman, because him hanging out behind the Galleon is super legit.
Turns out
And
Dark
honestly,
Shroud's a thing.
Yeah, and Bone Shaker's not a bad offensive pew-pew if you need it. He can wander around one side, keep it in the way of most of the stuff, you can get some shots off. If you get lucky, you might kill 2 things.
There you go.
And then I finish it off with a what I call the trio of 4-star solos, which is Kel Baylock, Orin Midwinter, and Saxon Warwick.
Gotcha.
And really the whole basic idea is that you've got the right unit to put whatever upkeep you need to for McBain on. He's not going to be doing a lot besides fueling the Galleon most turns because, I mean, with all of his upkeeps, he's going to be focus star. But at the end of the game, he can get some Pathfinder from Saxon, get an Eliminator if you've got one left into melee, and do some crazy charge and get some POW 15 Grievous Wounds on some boy at Mat 8. I can finish out some games pretty quick.
Yes, it can.
But yeah, the whole thought, you know, you've got the Galleon, you put Failsafe on that obviously because Failsafe Galleon is legit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, depending on what you need to do, you can put countermeasures on Eliminators or on Boomhowlers. Depending on how well you want to jam. You can jam Boomhowlers straight down their throat with Failsafe, and there's not going to be a lot of shots fired. Or you can do the old sneaky Eliminators. Oh, you're within 5, you can't shoot. Oh, you're outside of 5, you auto-miss. I usually like doing that when I've got a full boat of Chaosi in there, but the Eliminators work pretty well for that too, and they're very cost-efficient. And then Fortune just goes wherever you feel it's needed. Sometimes I don't even cast it, but anyone in that, I mean, Eliminators like Fortune, Ian and Holt like Fortune. I mean, Gaston with Fortune means you don't have to worry as much about boosting the shot, especially if you can aim. And it's just got a lot of little good pieces to use. And Boomhowler is going to be 4+ tough, so when you pop your feet, you can cover the majority of the rest of your army with it. I mean, you probably won't need to hit Ragman or Dougal because they're going to be in the rear with the gear. But the rest of those guys, you can pop your feet and make them pretty much unkillable. And Midwinter digging deep with his no spell or unkillable is super legit.
That sounds fantastic. That is a list I would certainly like, I can tell you that. I'm going to just quickly share my list, too, because while WonkyCon,
Sure.
we love you, you don't dictate the agenda of my show. I'm just telling you that right now. I'm going to give you that bit of tech right now. It was fun to go up. We were up at an event in Oshkosh, and there were 4 Menoth John shirts there, so that was kind of fun. And not including mine, actually, which was pretty cool. And but so the list I like is one that Owen kind of gave me some tech for, and I'm going to try not to F up my model here while I'm painting and talking at the same time. The list I like is a Thyra list, and Owen shared this tech with me, and it's one that I never would have come up with. So what you do is you take Thyra, running Adjudicator. So immediately this is sounding like a meat beater list. Okay, so we've got Thyra with Adjudicator, but we have Tristan with a Vigilant. Okay, the Vigilant is clutch because Fortify on a Vigilant makes it armor 23, no knockdown, and anybody standing next to it is immune to blast damage. So what you do is you occultate Thyra, stand next to the Vigilant, become immune stealth, immune to knockdown, and no blast damage. Seems good.
Yeah.
And then we go ahead and we put a and thank you for whoever said my guy here is looking good, because Imperatus is really vexing me. I'm having a really tough time moving forward on him. And then I put in at 35 points I put in a unit of Errants with the UA, and I think that is pretty much it, along with the Judicator at 35 points. And what's super awesome is you put Silence of Death on the Errants at first, and then so they go out and they run into anything that's got tough and kill it, and then Snapfire into other stuff and hope it dies. And then you go ahead and you take your Judicator and put the Silence of Death over there, and you start one-shotting stuff. So I went 2 and 2 this weekend, mostly because I came up against a Jarl list that has Magic Bullet, and that screwed up all my plans. And
Everything makes sense now.
And I played it very poorly. And then I came up against a... the other time that I lost in that one was I played Harbinger, and I just got... Math is a thing, people. This is my rant for the weekend. Math is a thing. Pay attention to it. Dice operate on a bell curve, okay? It's centered on 7. Pay attention to that math, because I don't care if you've got casino dice, you've got Chessex dice, you've got dice that your grandma won the frickin' Kentucky Derby with by rolling out which number was the horse she was going to win with, okay? It doesn't matter. Do the math, believe the math, and act upon the math. I had a bad assassination with Harbinger, and it turns out that if Harbinger doesn't kill Sorsha before she pops her feet, going in on melee and a double Cataclysm, turns out that Harbinger is going to die the next turn on 1 shot, and that's exactly what happened to me. So, believe the math, understand the math, do the math. That's my topic. There, boom. So we're here at 8:07, and John, I believe we're going to take this into a slightly more serious tip right now. And you've had some very tough times in your local meta, and I'm just going to let you talk. So take us through this, my friend.
All right, I'll try and keep this short and sweet, Rushheads. I don't want to bring us down too much, but 2 of the guys in my local meta in the last 6 weeks have tried to commit suicide, and I'm not going to talk too much on it. Obviously, not going to name any names. Luckily, they both have come through it. One's doing very well. The other one seems to be doing okay. But I want to talk about if you're feeling down. I mean, if you're feeling down or anything like that, you know, I know you want to be tough. You want to shoulder through it. Don't want to share your burdens with everyone else. But that's not the best way. You know, the one thing I love about gaming more than anything is that we have the best group of people to talk to. I mean, you know, we'll troll each other. We'll, as the Australians say, sledge each other quite a bit. But as soon as you have a problem, it becomes serious, and everyone there wants to help you. You know, just talk to somebody about it. You know, get it out there. They may have some good insight. At the very least, talking about stuff might make you feel better. Might make you realize that it's not as bad as you think. Heck, if you can't find anyone locally, pop me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find on Facebook. Find me. I'll chat with you. I'll Skype with you, whatever, It's an important thing to keep in mind. And, keep a look at your guys in your men. If you see someone's down, you try and cheer them up. It's tough to do, but it's worth it. I don't think anyone wants to go through anything quite as negative like this. It was a tough time, but we're getting through it. And I think that's as far as I'm going to go without getting too maudlin about it.
Maudlin is an infernal. We don't want to go there.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, no, in all honesty, John, I appreciate that because, there's been one of the things about doing this show that is quite humbling, to be honest with you. Sometimes you get some emails from some folks that they reach out to you and let you know that maybe, I don't know, John, from the silliness that we do here every week helps them through some dark times. I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that, but I've been quite humbled by some of the responses I've gotten from some of the brushheads out there, folks. And I tell you what, John and I appreciate you just as much as you appreciate us, and
absolutely,
and more so. And I've been through some very dark times myself, and I've been pretty candid about some of the challenges that I've had in my own personal life, and this community has helped me through a lot of those. And so, the thing that I would urge each of you, if you feel like you're alone, don't do that. You're more loved than you think you are. No matter how dark it is where you are, you're way more loved than you think you are. And if you're watching this show right now, know that there are at least 2 people that want you around, because there aren't so many people to listen to this, and we want you as a listener, and to take it up to maybe a more funny thing. But in all honesty, you have value, and we want to keep you around. So reach out to somebody, reach out to us, and we're hardly any kind of a hotline or anything like that, but we'll do the best we can to reach out to you and make you feel like you are. You're a brushhead, and that's a badge we don't hand out to too many people. So welcome to the family. So there we go. All right, that was the serious part of the show, right, John?
Yep, that's the serious part. Back to more silliness.
All right, so let's talk about something stupid. Let's talk about media, and let's talk about the first 10 minutes of After Earth.
Oh, no. You skipped something again.
Oh, well.
I warned you about this.
Well, did you want to talk about Cindervale first, or did you want to talk about...
Yeah,
okay.
Cindervale.
Right. I thought I was going to go to something really ridiculous first. That's the only reason I was switching it up. But please, go on to Cindervale first.
Yeah, I don't think we need to go to After Earth first. I mean, that's...
I need another shot of Kraken before we do After Earth anyway, so I'm going to get the big bottle of fun out.
Fair enough.
Cindervale.
Right, so I've been playing Rhett recently, and I don't want to say I haven't been feeling them. I've been enjoying the heck out of them, but I haven't really been focusing on anything. I've been kind of scattershot, playing a little bit of everything. So, and chatting with Cindervale, who's my sort of dojo buddy for everything, he gets a good look at everything and call me from being crazy and throw some good ideas. So, since the Connie challenge was so much fun. It was actually. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
I'm sorry. I couldn't take that serious for a second. I'm sorry.
No, it's surprising how much just having someone challenge you to something and being like, all right, I got to do this as a challenge. Boom. It gives you focus, and focus is good. As long as you're serious about it, focus is good.
I was playing Harbinger. 10 focus is amazing.
So, Cindervale is going to challenge me to a Retcaster. I'm not sure which one he's going to challenge me to, and in return, I'm actually going to challenge him to a Scorncaster. Now, he doesn't get to play too much over there in South Korea, defending our country, being the speed bump in front of the North Korean army. But he gets some play, and he'll get something to work on. And I'm going to do the same thing I did last time with mine. I'm going to go some. I'm going to try and put some. Maybe I'll put it on the Facebook page, or I'll put links to it on the Facebook page if I put it on like the mom forums or something.
Sounds good.
Let me see if I can get him to pop his challenge on me. While I'm finding that out, I'm going to challenge him to. It's not a bad caster because he's playing Scorn. I don't think there's any really horrible casters in there.
Mm-hmm. Except E-Morgul.
I'm going to challenge him to. Actually, E-Morgul's really good. E-Morgul is generally considered bad, but I see a lot of him locally.
Yeah, E-Morgul.
But I'm going to challenge him to Makeda 1 because I don't see Makeda 1 played. I've even heard that. You know?
That.
I mean, you don't hear too much of that right now.
I like that. I like that challenge. That's a good challenge.
It's infantry heaven without being, what do you call it, Fist of Haluk. So, there you go, Cindervale. You can hit up some Makeda 1. So, who have you got for me?
I know who I'd challenge you with in Retribution. Because I'd like to see your mind put against it and see what you can come up with that is repeatably winnable, and that is Assyria.
So he's accepted my challenge, and here's the funny thing is still in my local meta and a brush head, Bowie has challenged Banian to play Grail, who Bowie plays quite a bit and does very well with, so I want to see if that actually works or not. Let us see.
That sounds fantastic, man.
Oh, he's hemming and hawing over here.
All right, so we got that going on. So we'll keep that updated here on the show as we go along. But
so go ahead and hit us with some After Earth, and I'll see who he chooses.
So here's the deal. I got to, for those of you who aren't aware, I spend a lot of time in hotels, as it turns out, and not because of like lascivious anything or anything like that. It's for work. I work for Starbucks, and I'm starting up a roastery in Seattle. So if you're in the Seattle area, there is a new roastery getting put in on Capitol Hill. It is going to be a reserve-only roastery, so it's going to be pretty magic when it gets up. It's Howard's kind of pet project, so it's one of those projects I like to refer to as a 330 project. 3% chance of promotion, 30% chance of losing your job. And so I'm hoping to try to, with my preparations, trying to flip that, to have it be a 30% chance of promotion, a 3% chance of losing my job. And so I was talking about Seattle, and now I lost my place because I'm old and decrepit. But we're talking about After Earth. Okay, so I'm in a hotel, and I finally found a hotel in Seattle, of all places, that has good internet. And so I started watching some movies. I said, you know what? Here I am. I'm in Seattle. I'm all by myself. I got nothing better to do. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to watch a movie that is allegedly bad. And I'm going to say, is it really that bad? And, I'd heard about After Earth. And I had heard about, Will Smith did this movie pretty much as a means by which to get his kid a gig. Because he wanted to get his kid into acting and all that kind of stuff. And then I started watching it. And the critics were right. It's a terrible movie. It is an awful, awful, awful movie that no one should ever watch. It is this kid cannot act. I mean, and not even just a little bit. It is a terrible movie made by terrible people. And if you watch it and like it, you're a horrible person and never watch this podcast again. It is a terrible... Okay, so when I watched Guardians of the Galaxy, spoiler alert, there's a scene where there is a spaceship that is crashing down, and the people walk away from that. Groot does some hijinks, and the Guardians of the Galaxy walk away from that, including the big bad. Okay? So, but at least you can kind of say, okay, well, the big bad's the big bad. He's kind of supernatural in and of himself, and so he makes it through. And the Guardians get Grootified, so they're all good, and they make it through. And then this movie happens, and the spaceship crashes, and they're humans, and they're not Grootified. They don't have a Groot anywhere near them, and they just make it through. Because they're Will Smiths, I guess. And everyone else is dead. Will Smith's kid's not dead. Will Smith is not dead. Well, how could that happen other than the fact that it's Will Smith? So, it's a terrible movie. I turned it off immediately following that. It's like, really? I don't even care what the rest of this movie is about. So, I'm going to give this one... If you watch this movie and with less than 5 shots of Kraken, God help you. This is a terrible, terrible movie by terrible people for terrible people. Don't watch After Earth. It's a horrifying flick. Do not do it. So there you go. 5 shots of Kraken. We had to start off with one somewhere where we had 5 shots of Kraken, and this is one of them. Hey, hey. I'm not even going to say it. After Earth is not worth getting a hey, hey, Ron for.
Indeed.
To hell with After Earth. There you go. Boom. Suck it. What do you got?
All right. So I've only watched one complete movie in the past 2 weeks, which is rare for me. But hey, stuff got crazy.
Yeah, there you
Rumor
go.
has it.
Yeah, rumor has it.
But I did watch The 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas.
Oh, 13th Warrior with Antonio Banderas. Rumor has it that was supposed to be Beowulf.
It actually, when you think about it, it is very much Beowulf.
Okay.
A lot of similarities. It's like Beowulf with all those serial numbers filed off and, made a little pretty in other places. And I like a retelling like that. That's the way you retell a classic story.
Mm-hmm.
You file off the serial numbers, you change some stuff, and boom. It's like when you go from the Seven Samurai to the Magnificent Seven to Battle Beyond the Stars. They're all the same story, but they all are told, differently, and they're all very different movies.
Okay, now I have to go back and watch Battle Beyond the Stars to see that it's Magnificent Seven.
Oh, it is. Aragorn plays the exact same character with some of the exact same lines.
Yep, gotta watch it now. Thanks for that. Cool. I've always loved that movie, by the way. Anyways, moving right along.
We both love that movie. Maybe we should audible and make that
I
our
would
movie
be
club.
I would be comfortable with audibling to that as the movie club.
I think I did talk about it way, way back, but that was like a year ago. So
no, we can audible to that. I'd be totally comfortable with that.
There you go, movie club, guys. 2 weeks.
Boom.
That'll be on the stars. Watch it. It's on Amazon Prime for free.
Richard Hatch, folks. John Boy in space.
Richard Thomas.
Richard Thomas.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yep. Richard Thomas in space. John Boy in space. Suck it. There you go.
All right, so back to 13th Warrior. I really enjoyed this movie. I bought it. It was like $5 on DVD, and I mean that's the price is right. Let's be honest. $5 is my price on DVD. Now it has a couple silly, unrealistic moments, like when he sits there and learns their languages just from observing them talk. But it's necessary to get the plot moving, and it's amusing enough, so it doesn't take me out of the movie.
It is Beowulf.
Or when they give him the giant the sword, and he finds a metal worker and metal works it into a small curved scimitar. Okay, I'm down. It's not correct. Whatever. It's all good. But aside from those 2 moments, pretty much, it's fairly realistic.
The DEUCE, you say?
And yeah, it's good. I mean, I like the realism in it. It doesn't get too crazy beyond those 2 moments, really. A lot of it has a little bit of shaky cam action, but it really, really fits their sort of gritty style. And I think you haven't seen this movie, John?
I think I have, and I'm not remembering it the way that you remembered it, but that's okay. I'm not gonna. How do the Australians say it?
Sledge.
I'm not gonna fledge you out over that. I'm just. I'm gonna respect you because the Australians have no respect for anything, and I'm going to basically challenge myself to rewatch it, I guess.
It's good. It's now what I like about it, it's paced very well. It never gets so slow that you're like, I could be doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 1 or 2 moments where you start to get there, but then it's back into it, and you're good before you get too far.
Antonio Banderas is a good action actor, also, by the way.
Yeah, I like him, and he's the biggest actor in there. There's a bunch of other people like, oh, I know that guy, I know that girl, I know that guy in there. And the funny thing is, you don't learn all the main characters' names, and you know what?
Don't have to.
You don't need to. Nope, it's not necessary.
Why am I thinking Angelina? Why am I thinking Angelina Jolie was in this deal?
You're thinking of Beowulf.
Ah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're thinking of the remake of Beowulf. No, there's no Angelina Jolie in this. They actually don't go too much into the monsters. I'm not going to give away anything about that because it's pretty good. But enjoyable. I like how they use sneaky tactics, not just bass skulls, because they're all mostly Viking warriors, and I liked the use of tactics to fight.
This
It's
is
pretty
based.
cool.
This is based on Crichton's Eaters of the Dead, is it not?
It is.
Now I'm
And
remembering.
And based on what I read on the Wikipedia page for it, I like to read the Wikipedia page after I watch a movie to get an idea. Apparently, they didn't like the original ending, so they redid it, and it cost a lot of money. So it was considered a flop, but it's a very amusing movie. Let's see what else I got here. Decent pacing, good tactics, shaky cam. Oh, here we go. I have a quote from the movie that I very much enjoyed.
Okay.
It's Antonio Barris. Have we anything resembling a plan? And the one red-haired Viking warrior is, ride till we find them, then kill them all.
That's like
I think that sums up the movie.
that's like 13% of a clan, which I believe is all that you need now that Guardians of the Galaxy has happened.
It is.
I've got like 13% of a plan.
I like the movie. I'm gonna give it a shot and a half of Kraken. I mean, there's a couple points where you're like almost out, so you're gonna need a little bit of Kraken there, here or there, to keep going.
Makes sense.
But overall, enjoyable. I suggest it. I don't know if it's streaming. It wasn't streaming on Amazon Prime. Could be on Netflix. I don't know. I haven't checked. But if you get a chance, check it out. I know it's $5 if you have Amazon Prime through Amazon, and heck, that's a good deal.
Amazon Prime is pretty sweet. You can't deny that our
Yes, it
Amazon
is.
Prime is pretty sweet. So I watched a movie also. I watched a Seth Rogen movie. I watched This Is the End, which is essentially a Seth Rogen movie of Seth Rogen being Seth, and with the backdrop of the end of the world, and not necessarily like a how should I put this, a Armageddon style end of the world. This is a biblical end of the world kind of a thing, and it's basically him and his buddies getting high, and then the end of the world happens, and then hilarity ensues. So it's people playing themselves. It's got one of the best credit rolls of all time, where they put people's names up playing themselves, and it's one long list of stars essentially, and it's whoever. For me, the movie was made or broken on the fact that his buddy, the guy that was along for the ride, so to speak, is the voice of Hiccup from How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head, but I've watched How to Train Your Dragon and How to Drain Your Dragon. No, that's a different movie.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a different movie. How to Train Your Dragon 2, and the guy that's his buddy is the voice of Hiccup, the main character. And it is hilarious, just from that standpoint, to hear Hiccup going through all these scenes where he's smoking enough weed to kill an elephant. And so it's a good flick. It is not so. I've heard some people, including Belinda Librarian, complain about the ending, which is a little Deus
Jay
Ex.
Baruchel.
What's that?
Jay Baruchel.
Yes, that guy. Who it's a little Deus Ex Machina, but I'm okay with that. And it's a comedy about the end of the world, and Emma Thompson shows up and kicks people in the face. It's all good. So I'll give it. I'm going to give it 2 shots of Kraken, because Seth Rogen wouldn't want you to watch that movie with less than 2 shots of Kraken.
That's fair.
Or 2 grams of whatever your favorite controlled substance is, for that matter.
That's a movie I want to see. It's been on my want list, so I'll have to take a look.
Yeah, it's fun. It's totally worth it. It's fun. It's not worth buying. It's totally worth watching, though. So, then I guess, John, you also saw Ocean's 13.
Yeah, I saw part of it, and I've seen enough times to at least talk a little bit about it, fill out some time. No, it's the better sequel to Ocean's 11. Ocean's 12 is not worth talking about. Saw it once. Probably never see it again. Got some fun moments, but never enough to keep you. But this one, not as good as the first one, but it's close. It tells a decent story of Al Pacino being an evil guy and double-crossing God, the guy with the money from the first one, whose name escapes me because I'm a horrible person.
Oh God, Alan Arkin?
No.
No, no, God.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking
Ellie
about.
Gould. Ellie Gould.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he double crosses him and sort of puts him in a sort of coma from shock and all that. So it's a simple revenge movie, and those are the best times, let me tell you. And it's all the guys doing what they do for the first movie that you loved. It does get a little weird at points. A little like, really?
Who from the original movie is in it? I mean, is Clooney and Brad Pitt and
the whole cast is back.
Oh, no
except
kidding.
Julia Roberts, and no one cares.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
She was worthless.
The whole cast.
Worthless in the first movie.
Yeah, and it's told standard Ocean style, but better than Ocean's 12. Ocean's 12 had the problem of, at the end they show you how everything was done, and it's not as fun the way they did it in that. This is fun because you see everything going. You're like, oh crap, that guy just got arrested. This is gonna be horrible. Oh wait, I see the whole plan. Okay, you see the plan afterwards, and it's the cool way of doing it, not the shitty way. I'm trying not to give out too many spoilers, but it's basically revenge. It's a pretty convoluted plan, very amusing. The best line is towards the end when Al Pacino knows that Danny Ocean, George Clooney, is the one who did it, and he's like, "I'm going to get people to kill you," basically.
Mm-hmm.
And George Clooney replies, "I know the same people you know, and they like me better."
So, is that available on Amazon streaming?
I do not know, honestly. I caught it part of it on cable, and so I didn't catch all of it because commercials, they're horrible.
Because Ocean's 12 hurt me so bad where it counts that I couldn't watch Ocean's 13 because Ocean's 11 is like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, it is not on there. It might be on Netflix, but it's pretty cheap on DVD.
I will seek it out because I own Ocean's 11, and if it's as good as you make it sound out to be, that's worth me owning because I love a caper flick.
Well, I might buy. I don't think I own Ocean's 11 on DVD. They have a original Ocean's 11 remake, Ocean's 12, and Ocean's 13 on a 4-pack DVD for pretty cheap. I'll have to take a look at that.
Sounds like a positive investment, actually.
All right. There you go. So I enjoy that movie. I'm going to give it 3 shots of Kraken if you're watching it on cable with all the commercials, because you're going to want Kraken during the commercials.
Oh, no kidding.
Normally, I'll have that to about 1.5. It's not as fun as the first one. It has a couple moments that are awkward or exceptionally sappy or just downright crazy, but still fun, good movie to watch.
Cool. That sounds like an excellent recommendation. So, wow, I don't have any other movies to talk about, so I think that we have reached the end of a show, John.
Yeah, just one more thing to update on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the chat room here. It looks like Banian challenged Bowie back with P. Morvana or Cassius, his choice, and he accepted. We'll see how that goes. I need to find some purification, apparently. But Cindervale challenged me to Ossian, which is probably a good one to challenge me to because I don't like Ossian. I played him a couple times and hasn't been my favorite, so it'll be good to try and work through it.
Get a hold of me during the course of the week. I got some Ossian lists for you.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've got a couple I'm working on, but it's always good to hear more attack.
Yep, I've had some pretty good luck with Ossian, so I'll share some stuff with you.
Excellent, and look forward to at least some links to my impending posts on Views on Minis about my challenge. We'll see how that goes.
Well, John, the blue glove has come off.
I heard.
The blue glove has come off, which means that it's the end of another episode of Painting with Menoth, John. I want to thank Owen the Cooler Schindel, a fantastic guest here this week, and I want to thank him very much for coming on as a part of the show. And for some reason, I accidentally hit the button. There we go. I want to thank you, John, for being an amazing co-host, and I want to thank especially the Brushheads for coming on here today and enjoying this show with us this week. So on behalf of Mr. John Spencer, the co-host, on behalf of Owen the Cooler Schindel, on his way to some point so far west that people in Japan will probably be seeing him before people in Canada, and on behalf of myself, I want to thank you all for being a part of our little shindig here this evening. Ah, there's the music. There's the part that we love to hear. Ladies and gentlemen, have a fantastic week, and we will see you here next time on Painting with Menoth John.